with Roquan Smith. So my pick is the Ravens.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons they were leading the division until Lamar got hurt.
I'm rolling with the Bengals. I'm rolling with the Bengals to win the AFC North. Joe Burrow and the crew. I think they're going to do it.
Another division that appears to be stacked is the AFC East. RC, who do you have winning that?
You know what? I have the New York Jets. I'm not into all this. They have to win week 1. But when you look at this team, a top 4 defensive team last year, you add Aaron Rodgers. He seems re-energized and reinvigorated to be everything that he once was with the Green Bay Packers. And now with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook in the backfield, I think Robert Saleh now finally has his roster to take over the AFC East from the Buffalo Bills, who have been dominant the last 3 years.
No, I have no comment on that.
Okay.
Molly's deal. Go
ahead. The Jets haven't won the division since 2002.
I got the Jets win. I agree with it. I agree with it. I just didn't want to say it.
Ryan Clark's here.
I just didn't want to agree with it, but I said it.
Moving to the NFC now. No repeat champs in the NFC East in nearly 2 decades. I think it's been 18 years, RC. Who do you have winning the NFC East?
Well, this year will be a repeat champion, and I believe it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, and I listen to Stephen A. talk about him all the time, and he talks about him with pride because what this brother has become from his first year to now is absolutely phenomenal. You're talking about A.J. Brown on the outside, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift in the backfield, and a defense that probably has the defensive rookie of the year in Jalen Carter, and I'm calling it right now, an all-out All-Pro this season. Everything that everyone's saying about him is that he's an absolute stud. He replaces Hargraves on that defense. This is a team that wins it again, but I do believe the Dallas Cowboys beat them in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm going to remember that.
Ryan Clark needs to be drug tested for that last comment right there. Somebody drug test him immediately.
Beat them in the playoffs. An absolute stud. He replaces Hargraves on that defense. This is a team that wins it again, but I do believe the Dallas Cowboys beat them in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm going to remember that.
Ryan Clark needs to be drug tested for that last comment right there. Somebody drug test him immediately. As for Jalen Hurts, Group Dog, you know what I'm saying. Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Now, let me tell y'all something right now. The Eagles will win the division, and the Eagles will have home court advantage. And at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, if the Cowboys are lucky enough to get there, apologies to my brothers, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and because I love those brothers, but they going down, and they got to go to Philadelphia, which is how I'm going.
Thanks for getting us to wake up, RC. Coming up, it's time for Game Picks. It's Southern Steve all in on his Cowboys. That and more. I'm going to beat you at picks again, Stephen A. every year.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And this season, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app and use code FIRSTTAKE when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Astapro Allergy. Steroid-free allergy relief that starts working in 30 minutes, while other allergy sprays take hours. With Astapro's unbeatably fast allergy relief, you can Astapro and go.
Game day, baby! We got the team, we got the scheme. This year, we're going all the way.
Going all the way, too.
Sunscreen?
Game day is a we thing, and Smirnoff has a drink for every team.
We love our house.
It's on a great block, tree-lined street.
The neighbors are observant.
And we're back at the Sullivan house.
It's lawn day, Sheila and Louise at 9 o'clock.
With an eyesore.
I'll say.
Try shave. Interesting technique.
It's going to come back to haunt them. Some people clean all day, not these folks. Leave Geico keeps bundling our home and car insurance.
Save us a ton. If only they'd bundled the leaves. You know, I wouldn't have pegged these two as rookies.
I still don't.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Pacifico's crisp. Totaled on lines. Y'all knew. Bulls. Wait. kids. Why do you think I became a gagillionaire in the first place? Yes, I am your girl. Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Now with speeds up to 5 gigs. Limited availability.
I'm tight on our budget. Tight on something. You've come to save the day.
When a house needs a facelift,
Every surface in this house is going to have to be touched.
a plan to get it sold,
Let's go take down a wall.
and the money to get it all done.
Design away, but stay in that budget.
It needs Leslie and Lindsay.
It is so light in here now. Yeah. We are so stinking happy. Good job.
Unsellable Houses. Season premiere Sunday at 8 on HGTV.
First Take is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
The U.S. Open continues today on ESPN and with the men's semifinals starting at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. American Ben Shelton taking on Novak Djokovic at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Top-seeded Carlos Alcaraz squares off against Daniil Medvedev. As always, every point always streaming live on ESPN+.
Come on, get up! With the NFL season finally here, Get Up wants to play a game of show and tell. We will show you what happened around the league and then tell you what it means. With the best analysts and insiders in the business, Get Up gives you the NFL information you need to start your day and amaze your friends. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
All right. The Cowboys haven't won the Super Bowl since the 1995 season, so that I don't win again next year. Jerry Jones sat down with ESPN and had this to say, quote, "We could very easily have a team that doesn't hold the trophy up, but be dramatically better than one that if you cleaned house. So let that set of facts, let that play during this 23-year be the influence things." I can't even understand this quote. When we get to 24, you ask me, is winning the Super Bowl imperative without blowing this team up? And I say, no, it is not. Stephen A?
He's lying. He's lying.
I don't even really understand it, but yeah.
First of all, I didn't understand it. I'm not going to blame him because I speak to
That
Jerry
was a
Jones.
tough quote
I
for me
speak
to
to Jerry
read.
Jones
I gotta
often.
be real.
I speak to Jerry Jones often, and he could be accused of a lot of things, not being grammatically incorrect. I don't understand that quote, but I want to say that Jerry Jones just lied. You mean you don't win the Super Bowl? Not that big of a deal. Hell yeah.
Well, you're the one who always talks about all the billions they're worth.
I understand, but
All
it
right, I
matters.
want to give
You got
RC
everything
time to
else.
speak.
You got everything else. Go ahead, RC.
First of all, I don't know what it means, but it's provocative. Here is what I take from what Jerry Jones is saying. Jerry Jones is saying this. He's saying, I'd rather be extremely relevant. I'd rather be competitive. I'd rather continue to make these billions. I'd rather Stephen A. talk about me all morning. I'd rather be America's team than have to blow this up to try to win a championship. So he's saying where he is, where we can win 12 games, win 11 games, get into the playoffs, it's better to him than blowing this thing up and being a below 500 team.
No, real quick. You're taking the Cowboys.
Yes.
RC, are you taking the Cowboys too?
Yes.
I'm taking the Giants. Now you make me.
I got to get ready to go on the road. I just want to say to RC, I'm proud. He started the show off sleepy and red-eyed, but he came alive, waiting as the show progressed.
Would you let this man live?
Good. Why don't you stop eating? Stop eating. Okay, stop eating. Stop eating, man. I experienced the greatest moments, many of, in my career, face to face with Stephen A. Could I see us reuniting one day? Sure I could. Here we go. This is the Skip Bayless Show, episode 79. This, as always, is the undisputed everything I cannot share with you during Undisputed, and I hope you are enjoying, maybe even loving, the new Undisputed as much as I am. Today, I will take exception to something that my brother Stephen A. Smith said about me. And today, I will tell you about the original architect of the Dallas Cowboys, who recently passed away. His name was Gil Brandt, and he was simply the most intriguing, captivating character I have ever known in all my history of covering sports. And today, I will answer several of your questions, including why Deion Sanders will never, ever be the head coach of my Dallas Cowboys. But first up, as always, it is not to be skipped. I got my eyes on you. Everything that I see, I won't show. I'm going to press you. I hope you promise everything I'm about to say.
You're stretching.
With the fact that I cannot impress upon you how much I love Stephen A. Smith. He is my brother. He will always be my brother. It's almost hard to explain the bond that was created between the two of us because we worked together so long, so many places, in so many ways. We went to battle with and against each other so many times. We were under fire so many times. I experienced very briefly, First Take was doing a half-hour show in the afternoon on top of the 2-hour show in the morning. We were auditioning for a new potential slot in the afternoon on regular ESPN as opposed to the morning show, which was on ESPN2. We were one day away from finishing that 6-weekish run in the afternoon on regular ESPN. The show floated at 2:33, 3:30. Again, just a half hour. And on this fateful day, Richard Sherman was to be our guest. Richard was slightly late, though, getting mic'd up for the show. He did have his earpiece in, but his mic wasn't quite set. And we came on live, and my producer said in my ear, "You got to vamp. Just give him a few seconds, maybe a minute." I started vamping about how Richard Sherman says he's already better than Darrelle Revis. I don't see it, not yet. I said something to that effect, and Richard could hear it, but wasn't seated and ready to respond. So we asked Richard when he did get seated some football question. Of course, he just went off on me. He came after me. As he told me on the debut episode of Undisputed, he told me off camera also, I just pissed him off. And you piss off Richard Sherman, you're going to get it right between the eyes. That's how I would have operated in his shoes, and that's what I got, so to speak, both barrels, right between the eyes. The background of this was that First Take at that point was on probation. And so all of a sudden, as we're auditioning for an afternoon spot that Stephen A. badly wanted, and I don't blame him for that, I knew in the back of my mind, oh my God, we could be in trouble here. An incident is arising in which I'm going to try to, for once in my career, defuse. I'm not going to fight fire with my usual fire because I'm going to try to avoid and save. Avoid and save. I tried so hard not to engage with Richard Sherman, which obviously is not the usual me. So, we talked this through. We were able to chuckle about it on our debut episode of Undisputed. And then Stephen A. subsequently, I'm pretty sure it was on his podcast, made the case that I was a big reason that we were on probation. He also took some blame on himself because